Hi, my name is Robert. This video is designed to give you step-by-step detailed instruction on completing the task at hand. Visit my YouTube channel and watch my disclaimer video. And please like, share, and subscribe. I hope you find the information you're looking for. Thank you very much for watching. My brother-in-law picked up this 2001 Subaru Outback Limited, and it's all-wheel drive, fully loaded. Well, it's throwing a check engine light P1443. So I'm going to try to dig into it and figure out what's wrong with it. Well, that's P1443 code points to a vacuum control valve near the charcoal canister, which is right behind this back wheel. So I'm going to go ahead and test it and see if it's good and go from there. I think the issue with this P1443 code is probably initiated because somebody was overfilling the gas tank and forcing fuel into the vacuum system, which probably got sucked through several valves. And even though these valves work electrically, if they're not sealing right or if they're failing in operation, they'll probably throw these codes and cause difficulty in starting after you refuel. So don't overfill your car with fuel. Once it shuts off when it's full, leave it at that. If you try to squeeze another 50 cents or $1 in there, you're probably going to damage the vacuum system on this vehicle. After reading several things on the internet, I've decided that I'm going to replace a fuel tank pressure control valve that is located just behind the fuel tank over the rear axles and see if that cures the problem. These are the tools I use to get that little valve out from behind the gas tank. Long curved needle nose pliers, if you get some real short ones, that'll work. Regular flat tip screwdriver, pliers when I get it off, get the lines out, and then the small screwdriver to help pry the securing bracket loose. Here's the sales slip from that fuel tank pressure control valve. It's line item 2. Valve pressure, it was $49 plus tax. This car is pretty high off the ground, so you don't really need to put it on ramps. But to get to that valve behind the fuel tank and above the wheel axle, you come down here and you get to the front side of the frame and you go just above the axle. So when you look up there, you'll see the valve up there with the hoses and connections going to it. So that valve is going to need to be replaced. If you're good at reaching into tight spots and working in confined areas, you may be able to replace this valve in 30 minutes. If you do it quicker than that, you're great. Other than that, it may take as long as an hour to get that valve out and replaced. There's the bracket right there. The first thing I did was pull the electrical plug loose. The tab is on the top of it. And then I pulled the vacuum line loose on this side. Just with the needle nose pliers, I pulled the clamp off of it and then broke the seal on the vacuum hose and pulled it off. On this side, it was hard to get to that clamp, so I came down to the line and got to that clamp there, pulled that clamp loose, broke the seal on that, and pulled it out. On my initial attempt to replace that, I ended up breaking that hose trying to pull that out. Next thing I did was took that clamp loose. I pried the little screwdriver in there, and it kind of ratchets inside of itself. So just pry it open. It probably won't break, but when it comes loose, it'll pop and fall down. You might think you broke it, but more than likely you didn't. So get that little bracket off of it, and once you get that bracket off, you can pull the whole valve out of a metal bracket that's on it. And then once you get the valve pulled out of that bracket, you can slide the whole valve toward the driver's side to get the other lines loose. Right there, there's a top vacuum line on that valve, and all it does is push into the frame of the body. It doesn't attach to anything. It's just venting into the frame of the body that way and going back to the top of the valve. It's not attached to anything. Once you get the valve out, you swap out that top line that goes into the frame. You swap out the bottom line that goes to that other vacuum tube, and then you work it back up in there. Make sure you start to thread this top one into the frame when you attach that bottom one to the other side, and then clip it in the bracket. You could lock it in the bracket at that time if you want. Put this vacuum line loop on and then plug it back in. Should be good to go. Well, I replaced the canister and I still have the error code, and I replaced the fuel tank pressure control valve right behind the fuel tank, and I still have the code. So I'm going to go ahead and replace the vacuum valve right next to the canister because it must be failing while it's in operation. Hopefully that'll get my code clear. If you feel that this information was beneficial, please like it and share it with your social media friends. You can also subscribe to my channel so that you can get notification of future videos that I post. Visit my channel. I have all types of do-it-yourself videos there. You can leave questions here and I'll try to respond to them as quick as possible. You can also visit my website at robertspinner.com. Thanks again for watching.